Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Good
Can everyone
morning.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to recognize and welcome from WFP Cheryl Harrison, Deputy Director for Global Cash Transfers, Mr. Regis Chapman, WFP Representative and Country Director for the Caribbean Multi-Country Office, permanent secretaries and representatives from the various national ministries, our fellow members from the different developmental agencies, and all our implementing partners, colleagues from WFP, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to this learning event on social protection and the digitalization of assistance payments, an opportunity for financial inclusion and women's economic empowerment in the Caribbean. Today, we will hear from several panelists who will share with us more about the matter of social protection, digital financial inclusion, and gender equality, focusing on the past and current challenges and the present and future opportunities for the digitalization of social assistance payments that present for financial inclusion and women's economic empowerment. Please let me take this time to let you all know that this session will indeed be recorded. Right now, allow me to give invitation for opening remarks from Ms. Cheryl Harrison, who is the WFP Deputy Director for Global Cash Transfer. Over to you, Cheryl.
Thanks so much, Brianna. And since you've already done such an excellent job of the formal welcome, I just want to repeat, really, it's fantastic to have everybody here. I'm so excited about this really important opportunity for all of us to come together, share learning and our thinking and the challenges of implementing social protection with a digital financial inclusion and women's economic empowerment lens. So my name's Cheryl Harrison. I am the Deputy Director for WFP's Global Cash Transfers Division. I'm based in Rome. I've been with WFP for 20 years, most of it in the field, and most of it implementing cash transfer programs for humanitarian settings, but also working very much with governments on their social protection systems and programs. So this opportunity, this gathering is like an amazing evolution of conversations that started, almost a decade ago, that we can really see now taking shape and affecting people's lives in such a positive way. So I'm going to call on some help from some women who really know a lot about what it's like to receive digital cash transfers from their government, and to just kind of highlight some key parts of the vision. It's a WFP vision, but it's actually a vision that is shared and common across all of our organizations and our companies. So if you could just pop the first slide up. So Tracy and Macala's the daughter, Tracy's the mom. They're from Dominica. And I'll just let you read the slide for yourself. But, Macala is really proud of her mom. Her mom received a cash transfer from her government, a digital cash transfer from her government during COVID, and it helped her to make sure that she could keep her business afloat. What's really interesting about some of the things that Tracy and Macala have told us is that the way that we do the transfers, when I say we, I mean all of us, not just WFP, and in fact WFP is much a minor player, and it's really the government, the governments that are pushing this agenda forward. But it's the way we provide the cash transfer as much as it is the transfer itself that makes such a big difference. So, you know, Tracy has her own account. She's received some assistance payments from her government into that account. She also uses it for her small business. She's able to save. She's able to have a credit rating, start building a credit rating. And most of all, she's you know, showing her daughter how to be independent, how to be a woman who can handle her own assets and contribute to society through a small business of her own. And in fact, Tracy told us that she's opened an account already for Macala as well, and Macala is working and saving money already in that account. So just incredibly important to have this connection between the generations, where, you know, independence and women's empowerment is being passed on also from mother to daughter. Would you advance the slide one? We'll take a look now at Pishlande. She's we met her in Haiti. She's also receiving cash assistance. She's a farmer, and she is, you know, has leads a group of women farmers who are growing rice. But her story is a fascinating one, you know, and really illustrates well so much of the evidence that we simply can't ignore anymore. That when women gain economic equality with men, GDP goes up, and poverty can go down as well. So, for example, the IMF, sorry, has put out a fair amount of evidence and quite boldly stated that if women had equal economic status to men, the global GDP would go up by 27% by 2025. That's $12 trillion annually if we unleash the power of women's productivity. So this also is incredibly important, because receiving social assistance transfers digitally into your own account is very helpful in times of need, but ultimately women need these accounts and need to be able to manage their own resources so that they can be independent and have their own businesses or you know, earn money and have a place to save for the future in their own accounts. So we'll go on to Oleanne. Oleanne's raising something really, really important here. Oleanne's from Haiti, and she also received a digital cash transfer from the government there. Oleanne talked a lot about how important it was for her to be able to have a choice in what in whether she received her money in an account or mobile money. She wanted to have that choice. She wanted to have that information. She didn't want to be sort of, you know, channeled in one direction to receive her transfer, because she saw this account as being something that she would need in the future, whether or not she was receiving any assistance. So this leads us to the conversation of what's holding women back from being able to choose their, you know, an appropriate, affordable, easy to access, convenient financial products and services for them. A large one she's highlighting here, a really big one globally for women, is that many women don't have IDs. Many more women, as you know, than men don't have national IDs. It's very hard then for them to get any accounts or even to sign up for social assistance programs. It goes beyond that, of course. Women need information. Accounts need to be affordable. They need to have, you know, the financial institutions need to be giving really good customer service and looking at women as a really important segment that requires perhaps different types of products and services. And to all of this, what Tracy, Macala, Oleanne, and Pishlande have told us add up to largely the vision that we have. We're very lucky that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has provided WFP with some startup funding to look at what are the really important design features to be able to ensure we have financially inclusive payments. And we're also very lucky that their focus, like ours, is very much on supporting governments and national systems to have financially inclusive payments that lead to digital financial inclusion, yes, but also a pathway to women's economic empowerment. So I'm not going to go on. You all are the experts and you have so much information to exchange. I just wanted you to know that this is a very exciting and very well supported approach. In fact, the work that you all have been doing together has added up in and influenced in a very big way WFP's strategic plan for the next 5 years, and also our own strategy for how we're going to improve the way that we provide humanitarian cash transfers and the way that we serve governments in the countries that we operate. So without further ado, I want to introduce my colleague Regis. I think you probably all know him. And yeah, thanks Regis for inviting me to open this really exciting event.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl, and good morning, colleagues and partners. First, a sincere thanks to the Gates Foundation for your support to WFP and WFP Caribbean as we continue work with governments in the region to strengthen social protection systems. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated existing financial vulnerabilities for countries in the region that were already facing extremely high levels of national debt. But it also led to a significant increase in the role that social protection played in addressing the needs of the population most impacted. And while many COVID-19 conditional and unconditional and other cash assistance programs have come to an end, the need for continued support to the most vulnerable households in the region remains, and many governments are already adapting accordingly. Our most recent research indicates that 57% of households experienced job loss or reduced income since the start of the pandemic, which is a higher proportion compared to our survey that we did in April 2020, which was around 48%. The unfolding crisis in Ukraine presents an even greater challenge for the Caribbean and threatens the cost of living across the region. The pandemic has impacted how women and men put food on the table, send children to school, and invest in their livelihoods. It's likely that the war in Ukraine will have similar impacts as the situation evolves. Now, we know that existing inequality between the have and the have-nots has worsened over the last 2 years, and this includes gender inequality. The February 2022 Caribbean COVID-19 Food Security and Livelihood Survey shows that women are increasingly spending more time on domestic work and childcare when compared to men, thereby exacerbating pre-pandemic conditions and affecting women's livelihoods. We also know that women form a larger percentage of the informal sector in the region, and this is an economic group that was significantly impacted over the last 2 years. At the same time, certain groups in society have been and will continue to be impacted, including persons living with disability, indigenous or rural and remote communities. Now, the CARICOM surveys also highlight the plight of youth whose jobs prospects and livelihood opportunities have been limited. It's at this intersection between gender and these realities that the impact has been the most severe. So not only is the role of social protection in its current form more important than ever, but equally critical is taking advantage of the opportunity for strengthening systems and accelerating financial inclusion by linking with efforts in broader digital transformation and women's economic empowerment agendas, and ensuring that systems are well equipped and can provide assistance to those most in need in a fast and agile manner. Now, digitalization, and more precisely digital payment solutions, can build stronger social protection systems in the Caribbean that are resilient to shocks. These efforts have seen a tremendous acceleration during the COVID-19 responses, and WFP works alongside governments to strengthen national social protection systems to expand their reach during times of crisis, and when needed, we also help deliver cash through these systems to augment the national response. In 2021, WFP worked with countries in the region on their flagship social protection programs in different ways, many times in crisis contexts where the need for social assistance is more prevalent. We partnered with governments in Barbados, the British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Guyana, Jamaica, and St. Lucia to support those most affected by the pandemic, and also with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the aftermath of the La Soufriere volcano eruption. We have successfully piloted digital transfer modalities as part of the COVID-19 responses in St. Lucia and Jamaica using local service providers. And the lessons learned will help inform future scale-ups. Unfortunately, the financial sector in the Caribbean lags behind most other regions and countries. Financial inclusion and competition are considered to be relatively low with a limited financial service range. The majority of transactions in the region are still cash-based. The presence of regional actors is restricted to a few financial service providers, mainly banks, which dominate countries' financial sectors in terms of assets, number of customers, and services provided. In recent years, an increasing number of fintech companies have joined the markets in the region. This sector, however, is at very early stage of development, and most of these companies are often not licensed by central banks. Differently from the South American context, mobile money operators are active in only 7 out of the 22 countries and territories of the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean and provide in-country solutions only, with a limited number of users and poor service range. Moreover, in the whole of the Caribbean sub-region, only 13% of people have a registered mobile money account, most of which are not currently active, compared to 53% in the South American sub-region. Generating evidence and promoting learning is really at the heart of WFP Caribbean's work on shock-responsive social protection. The rich learning and strategic vision that WFP Caribbean has promoted on the topic through research, programming, really walking the talk during times of crisis, dialogue, and capacity development have influenced policy and practice here in the region and contributed to evidence globally. This event is a great opportunity to share and disseminate the experiences with digitizing payments and promoting women's empowerment with the wider Caribbean and beyond. We look forward to learning from all of you who are participating. WFP is convening governments, regional financial institutions, central banks, and implementing partners to exchange on key issues related to digital payments in efforts to make systems more shock responsive. And we're certain that we will have a fruitful discussion on opportunities and challenges of using digital payments and social assistance programs, beneficiary experiences, and the potential of digital payments for advancing financial inclusion and women's economic empowerment, and also the future of social protection and the importance of user-centric and shock-responsive design of social assistance payments. Let me extend my gratitude to the team at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for your support. Also, an extra special thanks to friends and partners from governments and agencies here in the Caribbean for joining us. There's so much experience on which to build, learn, and innovate on how we can move a step closer to a more digital and resilient Caribbean. And I hope that collectively we can take advantage of this over the next 2 days. Thank you very much.